up, everybody? I'm Marco Messina.
And I'm Michael Cantaris.
And Juventus are in the Champions League finals.
To Cardiff, it's time.
It is crazy. I mean, Juventus over 2 legs, getting a 4-1 win on aggregate over Monaco. Yes, the goal tonight might have been a little bit surprising, but man, has this Juventus been so efficient and so brilliant. Criticized in the beginning of the season, but man, have the results gone their way.
For sure. The whole squad played amazing. A back wall. Both chances for both sides, but like we were saying, Mbappe scoring, we didn't expect that one. But all in all, they had a great chance for both teams too. They should have been a little bit more clinical, but 2-1 win at home, it's amazing.
You can't really complain, and I mean, Juventus really did their work in the summer. You know, the idea was to raise the level of the squad for nights like these, and they did just that. Just look at Dani Alves, signed for $0 million, for nothing. Free transfer, and the way that he stepped up the level of Juventus on these Champions League nights, the reason he is signed, I mean, that assist and that goal were absolutely brilliant. Criticized in the Serie A for what he did in the beginning, but man, has he taken Juventus to the next level.
He has. We all know he has that Champions League DNA, and this is what he feasts on. He's like a lion waiting. He's always running down, running up the flanks. He's incredible, and that goal he scored today, I have nothing to say about that.
It was just brilliant from Juventus tonight. You know, like you said, maybe a little bit wasteful at times, but you really can't complain getting into the Champions League final. It almost hasn't hit me because of how incredible this season has been. We got to get into some of the post-match comments because some incredible things were said. So from Allegri, the mister, we saw that once Juventus won this match, he walked straight into the locker room. He let his players do the celebrating, not him. He said it's good to be excited, but let's remember, we still didn't win either the Scudetto, Coppa Italia, or Champions League, so keep our feet on the ground. He was talking about Gleek. We know that challenge that Gleek made. He says, I actually thank Gleek. He made us wake up. We started sleeping at one point, and we conceded that goal, and he called the goal like a goal that like chickens concede, like a very weak goal. And he said, we acted like we had the game in the bag. Thank you, Gleek, for making us wake up. We saw what Gleek did to Higuain. Honestly, I don't even want to give Gleek any of the spotlight in this one because it takes away from the brilliance of what Juventus did.
I agree with you, and I just want to give a little credit to Allegri here. He took the negative and put into a positive. What Gleek did, he basically said thank you, and because of him, they woke up more.
That's Allegri in a nutshell. And then another journalist, they asked him another 2 times about Gleek, and he says, we can't be the type who look back at things like this and complain. We need to focus on improving ourselves. Love the way that he said that. Khedira did pull up with a muscle problem. He says Khedira has a muscle problem. We'll see what happens. We still have a month to the final, and there are other players who could take his place. The last thing he said is, what is the difference between now and 2015, the final in 2015? And he says it's the variety of players, the guys that he has at his disposal. There are about 5 who played in that final, and now 5 that have still been there. So there's definitely been a difference. 2 finals in 3 years. Absolutely incredible. Not many teams can do this. Bonucci, after the match, they asked him, what's going to happen? You've done an incredible cycle. He says, the only thing we want is to become legends. And then he said, in 2015, it was a surprise to be in the final. Now it is not. And this really hit me because I was trying to understand why I didn't celebrate like crazy after the final whistle. You know, Juventus in the Champions League final. It's because I knew from the beginning of August that this team was going to go to the Champions League final. And I said, Juventus are going to win it. And in 2015, not to say that we didn't deserve it at that time, but it was different. We weren't expecting that. Now, Juventus is with those top dogs in Europe, is the top dog in Europe, and it's not as surprising. It's expected to get there. Not taking away from it, but it's like, okay, we're there, but now we want to win it.
I definitely agree with you there. In 2010, they were good, but now they're more mature. They're like a fruit that ripens right now. 2015, yes. And right now, it's their time to take it. They're in the top category with the best teams in the world, and they're expected to do this.
And just like Dani Alves says, he says, if we don't lift that trophy, none of this means anything. And I completely agree with that. That is the winning mentality. We can't just be happy just to get there. You need to get there and believe that you could win. And I believe that the team does believe. And then he also said, yeah, my goal was nice, but getting to the final is even nicer. That is the key at Juventus. I tweeted this out. I said the secret to Juventus is the group is greater than the individual. You could see it many times. They don't care who scores. They don't care what they have to do, what they have to sacrifice. but they just care about winning, and I really think that's the key to Juventus. And Marchisio finally says, this is definitely going to be a different final than the one in 2015. We are much stronger mentally than we were 2 years ago, and I definitely can see that.
I just love all the post-match because there wasn't too much celebrating. It was more like looking forward, and I think that's the beauty of Juventus right now. Instead of celebrating that something, you know, it's amazing that they're in the final, but they want the next thing. They're hungry for the next thing, and that really just shows their mentality and how the whole club is organized.
And in 2015, I think it was like, holy shit, we got to the final.
Exactly.
And now it's like, not holy shit, we got to the final. Holy shit, we need to fucking win the final.
In 2010, it was like, wow, Juve are in the final. Yeah. That's amazing. They were like celebrating before they even went there. Now they're looking for the next thing.
And for a variety of reasons. You know, Conte left, there was a new coach, no one expected that. Juve, first time since Serie B, really challenging in the Champions League. So there were a lot of emotions going into this one. But I mean, having lost to Bayern Munich last year really built that character of Juventus, where they learned that they can't give up until the last second, fino alla fine, but even in the Champions League matches, and gave them that like chip on their shoulder to get them to that next step. And I really believe this is the year. And that game, it still hasn't hit home, especially for me, just trying to process it, but still not happy. It needs to be that final where I think this Juventus believes they've got a deep core to them, and this is the year for Gigione. The team is believing, they play effective football, they play great defensively, and now they have the mentality. And in a one-off game, as great as Real Madrid or Atletico, but we know it's going to be Real Madrid, I think that this could be the year for Juventus, and it has to be.
Right now, there's not a better time to win it with this Juve squad.
There's not a better time. There is not a better time.
This is the time. Everyone's mature. 2010, maybe they weren't ready. 2015. I keep saying 2010.
2010 to Inter.
That's
the trouble.
2015, they weren't ready. 2017, it's their year.
It's time. Hashtag it's time. Guys, please, in the comment section below, put your thoughts on the game, on Buffon, on your favorite video, whatever. Just put them in the comment section below. Let's get a conversation started. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, ragazzi.